There's obviously one, not necessarily elephant even in the room, but that's the fact that SK are playing with 135 ping. I think we see a very clear, or I guess the disadvantage of it going into the second half. The first half, when they're playing CT side, they can kind of chill back, wait for Ts to come running into them in a far bigger manner than what they can on the T side when you swap things around, and they're actively going to have to clear angles and so on. You only have so much utility to do that for you, and that's kind of where you run into a bit of an issue as SK.
Talking about the map as well, Train is probably the worst map to play on with 130 ping. There's so many jiggle peak corners, so many train wagons, there's so many ways for NRG to take advantage of the fact that SK is playing from Germany right now. So I think after all, we did see... I mean, it's hard to talk too much about it, right? But we did see an SK who at least put up and fight and had a few rooms and had a few changes to make him a bit closer. But overall, NRG were in control and they ended up winning it. Puts SK to 1-4 in this league thus far. And that's not a good start,
It's a rough start for SK, and certainly having last night's forfeits on their back doesn't help, the number side over there. But, I really think we have to point out the fact that they were playing on the best possible servers. And those are ESEA servers. Head over to ESEA.net, play.esea.net for short, or long, I guess I should say.
That was so smooth.
And really and truly, the server, 128 tick, regardless, all of that aside, was not going to help them today with ping. It was just not going to happen.
Yeah, add up, ping, and obviously map, as Jacob mentioned, that's going to spell disaster really for you. But SK did a valiant effort really putting into it. Actually getting 10 rounds, especially 7 on the CT side. It's not bad considering the circumstances. So going into Overpass, it's going to be interesting. I guess the map is more divided in that sense, a bit longer rotation time. That might be something that helps SK, but then again, it's going to be really difficult for them. Actually, again, being able to clear corners, a lot of these wonky places that you need to get map control over is going to be really tough to do for SK. But we've seen it before. They might have the opportunity to put up a good fight.
Well, let's maybe step back and compare a little bit here. We looked at some instances where SK is running out Ivy there on Train. And you don't know whether it's the ping that's going to hurt them the most, because an SK Gaming that isn't lagging like that seemingly has a decent chance at that, right? But when they're having these ping issues, you start looking at areas like the connector. What parts of the map really stick out to you guys, I should say?
I mean, Pop Dog for sure. I think we saw that a few times. Whenever the NRG players dropped down Pop Dog, the Pop Dog player just died. I think we saw a few times just standing in there, and he didn't even get to shoot a bullet before he was dead. And just as the ping difference, it's such a close combat fight, and it's the marking that really divides whether you win that duel or not. And having a ping on 135 is just going to kill you in that position, and that happened a few times. So, especially Train, there's so many different angles, so many different places on the map that's just not good for you. Ivy is one of them, as you mentioned as well, Stunner. So, I mean, SK did the best they could, and I think the most important thing for them in this matchup is to just, take it as a experience. Try their best. Maybe if they can grab a win now on Overpass, that'd be great. It's better than a fight, and definitely better than losing 2-0. So, just try their best, and if it ends up being a 0-2, then they stand really nothing to lose, right? It's to be expected against NRG.
I guess the silver lining in all of this is that obviously the first forfeit yesterday they had was versus Team Liquid. Arguably one of the toughest opponents that SK could run into over the course of the season. So I guess if you want to be lenient about it, you could cross off of that. That could have potentially happened even if SK were playing on equal ground as Team Liquid as well. NRG, again, one of the upper or higher level teams in this league as well. So you could potentially excuse a 2-0 or going 1-1 versus these as well. It would have been very different if they were to play, one of the bottom 3 teams in the league with these conditions and then losing, because obviously it's going to be much harder once you get back to the US to actually fight up against Cloud9, fight up against Team Liquid and so on, and actually get those much needed points now that they've gotten off to such a rocky start.
Well, we are going into Overpass, and they, SK Gaming is at a boot camp.
Yeah.
So perhaps they have something a little prepared for this. Perhaps they have some tricks up their sleeve. Ping aside, time difference aside, any other asterisk aside, what can we expect here? Much of the same, or where is this going to go?
Same thing, and game's sake that SK can get to a good start, because that's going to be very important for them to keep believing that there's a chance they might even steal a point here from NRG, steal a win in that sense. Yeah, they've been boot camping. Yeah, they may have been practicing Overpass a little bit, but they're not going to show that in a game like this. This is, let's make it very clear for the guys out there. This is a bonus game for SK. If they can steal a map now, that'd be great. If not, they avoid to getting disqualified from this league by fighting the game. So that's the only goal for them in this one. They just want to do as well as they can, and if they end up losing, then they end up losing. It's not going to hurt them tonight. It's not going to make them laying down there sleepless, you know, and think about what the hell went wrong against NRG. They know the fact that they're playing from Germany. They know the fact that it's 3 o'clock right there and the ping is not with them. So it's just a bonus situation for them.
It's a handicap in one way. Say golf, you know, it's kind of like it's one of those ways, because I think obviously we can sit here and say like SK might stomp all over NRG and any given day, except for today when they have roughly 130 ping.
Yeah. It does make it a whole lot more difficult, but then again, we did see them being able to bust out ops on train with that ping, Fallen being able to connect a couple of shots and so on. So I guess you could see a world where it happens on Overpass as well, but it's obviously you have to get to 16, and I think best case scenario is SK get to 12, 13, but not going the whole distance.
They found 10 on train,
yeah,
which is impressive in its own right as a feat. But, I mean, Overpass, we talk about sound cues. I mean, even that one alone on Overpass could be wild.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to see SK play fast. You know, I want to see them try something they're not normally doing. You know, just group up together, 4 guys or 5 guys, and just hit aside straight away. You know, do something to overrumble NRG in the beginning of the map and actually put on pressure on them. Because when you play with this ping, you got to refrag. It's all about the refrag potential. And if you're taking the 1-on-1 duels, you can lose them the majority of the time, and you're gonna lose the game by that. If you hit aside 4 guys against 3 or 4 guys against 2, there's a chance you can get those refrags. And when you're in a clutch situation, the nades become more vital. Everything becomes more vital in that sense, and that when the ping maybe becomes a little bit less significant in that sense. So try to play a little bit unorthodox, try to surprise them and see what goes.
Do something strange for a little piece of change. It is about that time to jump into the game, though. The LO3 has been queued, and our commentator duo in Harold and Jason are standing by ready to take on this map.
Yes, Trace, thank you for wearing your formal jacket today to work. We love it. We are going to get live that second map, SK and NRG. It's Overpass, and certainly if you think there's going to be a map where SK can recover from the high pings, it would be Overpass. Although all things considered, if Cirque plays the same way that he did in the last map, it might not even matter.
Yeah, it is going to be tricky for SK. You kind of feel like Cirque really was stepping up, but quite crucially, it wasn't just him. He had, you know, the entire team there around him. Fugly had a very good game. Not usually one of the people who we kind of look to be the man at the top all the time within this NRG roster. But he was definitely pulling his own weight. Ethan as well, goes without saying. Breezy was a little bit quiet until the latter stages of that game. I think it was only in like round 6 or 7 that he found his first couple of kills. But got off to a rocky start and then recovered. So for SK, they're going to have to be firing on all cylinders here.
Yeah, it's one of those performances that you can forget about pretty easily considering your team won the game. So no worries there from Breezy. Pissed around now live. NRG starting on this CT side. Pimp wanted something fast out of SK, and it might just happen. It looks like it's going to be heavy play towards this B bomb site. 3 players here. Fugly peeking out towards Monster. Doesn't see anything quite yet. 2 players huddled up against the wall from SK, and they're going to hit a perfect timing on this. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. And yeah, boost comes in and it's just too late. NRG cannot fight to hold the bomb site. It's going to be another one of those lovely, well, I was going to say 5-on-5 retakes. It's now quickly 5-on-3, although Dap's down to 1 health. He's going to have to sit out of the fight. Might have to stay up top and just try and help pick off a kill. SK desperately trying to hold on. Good kill from Bolts, but now Fugly's involved with the trade, and it's just Fallen. It's just Cold Zera, and NRG's going to do it. Pissed around goes their way.
NRG always caught a really bad timing. Well, in fact, they did catch a bad timing. It was a nice recovery from Daps and Easton to get them back into that round. You had, so it was Daps and Breezy, because you had Ethan peek out over towards mid early on, and it doesn't spot anyone there. The instant rotation comes in, so 4 players for NRG down in that B bomb site. But then I think it was Taco who threw a late flash over for SK into mid, and that kind of brought this large air of doubt around. You could see NRG, they've heard the flash pop in mid, they haven't spotted anyone in B, and then they started to pull out of there. And, you know, just pulled out too soon as NRG, they're able to recover them. That's all good. Cirque's over here in mid. Ethan's the first man to find a frag. Taco's gone down. And that's the man advantage taken for NRG.
Should be pretty easy from here, all things considered. Only 1 Deagle on the board, and yeah, I mean, there's the advantage of range as well. Fallen was way ahead of the team. No chance to trade that. No chance to gain anything from his death. So, we'll have to see what SK can do from here. Daps gets dropped like a sack of potatoes. Now Bolt pushing up excuse me, start pushing up with the SMG. Gonna tap away like it's a rifle and find one. And yeah, SK, no real fight in this. They're waiting for the next round to get those AK-47s on the board. Op's going to be out for Cirque, and 5 AK-47s purchased up for SK. A little bit light on utility, only 2 smokes for them to work with, and if Cirque is going to ride the high of train, that can be difficult to force him back. He's going to have a lot of opportunities to find a pick, but that flashbang hits him perfectly. So step 1 accomplished from SK. Don't take any damage from aggression towards Fountain from the Op.
But there's Ethan to open up. Gotta go ahead and find Taka. That was the boost that they had set up down in Connector. Yielding fruit early on. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop out one more over here at long. And well, now a T1 advantage. SK, they've kind of grinded to a halt here. The brakes have been firmly applied. No, not on. Bolts and Cold Zero are going to take control of mid. The bomb's left down over towards Monster, where Breezy and Daps do lie in wait. Fugly's holding this angle. I think he spotted Cold Zero there. So they know that there's one man here. And in response to this, Daps is good. Ooh, that was very, very fast. The MP9, it claims a life, and it's the life of Fallen. Quite crucially, he had the bomb on his back, and with that NRG, they've started to pull all the players over here toward the bomb. Cold Zero is going to answer back with one onto Breezy. But they still have their work cut out for them, especially with Daps being in the back line.
I have no idea how he got that kill with the SMG. Bolts fires some shots, gives away his position. Cold Zero waiting to pounce, and he chooses now. Doesn't see anyone. Now he's going to push forward, try and find Daps. It's not going to happen in less than 10 seconds left on the clock. Both SK players go down. A quick 3-0, a solid 3-0, only losing one player. That's going to be frustrating for Fallen to get killed in that fashion as well. 3 players with 0 kills on the SK side of things, and NRG off to the races.
Deagles on at Cold Zero, Bolts and Taco to try and find some success in this round. Other than that, it's just an eco. Chance for NRG to pad those stats. Cirque going to miss the shot over a mid. Fugly's now here to try and relieve some of that pressure. Goes ahead and gets behind the tree. Taco lies in wait down here at B. Fallen almost gets the timing, but just going to miss it. And Fugly's quick to get the hell out of there. Actually going to stick around a bit along. Does manage to find Fallen eventually. So looking good right now for NRG to keep this round clean. Cirque does, however, run the risk of going down here. Missed shot onto Fur, and he is going to fall.
Not a big deal, though. The op should be able to be well, it is definitely able to be recovered at the moment, and everyone from NRG just feeling confident to take these battles, although against the Deagle, Fugly doesn't see any reason to continue to peek into it, no reason to risk his death. He's just going to fall away. So yeah, just a matter of time until this round ends in the favor of NRG, and SK is going to have to... Excuse me again. SK is going to have a very good start to this game to take the money away from NRG on these buys. Taco's going to push up in towards bathroom, and Fugly keeping the range with that M4. 1 kill for Taco, but there's Daps with the response. And Cold Zero still allowed to work his way up towards long, but he shouldn't be able to get anything. And the op is picked up at the end by Daps. And now SK has to get started. They cannot let the money build up to a point where they're going to be facing multiple buys.
Yeah, pressure's definitely on. SK, they are buying down. But once again, if they lose this, then they're going to be reset into the next. So, kind of desperate at this point for SK. Fallen has the AWP on his back. Flash out into mid, allows Fallen to take this peek, and early on it's only one man over here. Now this A bomb site, that's going to be Cirque, and even then he's holding down the long angle. NRG have 4 players stacked up inside of B, anticipating a fast play from SK. is going to go ahead and leave long. SK slow with the aggression over here in middle. He will manage to get out, and Cirque, he's given them control of long.
Slow-paced from SK as they're cautiously taking control. Taco playing outside of B as well. Just preventing any pushes, keeping a second option open for SK should they run into troubles. Cirque and Fugly want to get aggressive, and that's perhaps a mistake. Fallen's going to pick off Fugly. Cirque's still here, and he has a decision to make. Holding an angle, misses a shot. Fallen now almost with a response and doesn't want to let him get away, so Cirque is going to be in trouble. Molotov and smoke, and Fallen's got the read, and he's got the shot. Lines that up perfectly, takes his time, and it's all on Daps. Alone against the world, and he's going to walk right into the waiting crosshairs of Fallen. So SK, off the back of their captain, going to get their first round. Ethan and Breezy are held back by utility. Bomb's actually going to make its way over towards the B bomb site and completely fool NRG with this kill. Well, technically, there still could be a chance, but Breezy's going to believe the plant's over here at the A bomb site for the time being.
Cold is keeping his attention on this A bomb site. Breezy, the jig is up. At this point, he realizes there's no time. He's been able to find coldzera. Actually, still don't think he's entirely aware. There you go. Penny drops. The AWP picked up. And that is going to be the first round on the board for SK. All on the back of the heroics from Fallen. Oh, that was nice from Breezy. A quick 180 to get rid of Taco. And he still has bolts hunting him down.
He's not going to find him, but I mean, it is quite nice to fight your way out of that and be able to save the AWP. 3 kills for Breezy in the round. And SK Gaming, that's a win, but it's a very costly win. They lose all but 1 player, so going to have to drop some guns over. Going to eat into that money behind it. Hurt on utility. And losing here again will reset all of this. So big round for SK in the grand scheme of things, especially considering Ethan and Daps are down at 50, Breezy at 150. If NRG loses this one, they're on a save. So it could allow SK to at least even up the score, equalize things at 4-4 early on, which would be huge for them. Double nade coming over. Been seeing that an increasing amount recently, that nade.
Once again, looks to be another slow round in from SK. They are a fan of taking things slowly. Ethan going to creep down through short. Fallen about to discover him. The flash does keep them away. Oh, Daps is going to take one to the face as he goes down. Fallen finds it.
Ooh, that's 130 ping dirty.
Really does put the D back in Daps as he picks that up. Man advantage taken for SK. How does Fallen land out at 130 ping?
He wasn't even pre-aiming it. He had to flick up. That is nasty. Well, Fer gonna look like he wants to lead the way through Monster. There are at least 2 players here. I think the 5th is up on the balcony. The 3rd player, Fugly, a little bit behind him. So as good of a defense you could hope at this bomb site considering the circumstances. Flashbang hits Fer in the face, but equally he hits Ethan in the face, but Breezy recovers, and now Smoke is keeping him safe. coldzera trying to press the issue. He's now going to hide inside that smoke, and it's all collapsing for SK. I don't think Fer realizes Breezy's actually in the bomb site, but that smoke fades, and it is going to backfire. It is going to abandon Breezy to the clutches of coldzera, but it won't matter. He comes out of the shadows right as Cold dies. Less than 5 seconds remaining as well, and NRG somehow pulls that round back. This is disgusting. That actually might be one of the times where having 130 ping maybe helps you. Who knows? A lot of question marks. But back to the pistols we go for SK.
Yeah, the pistols have not really been their friends. Taco this time holds for the jump. This time he doesn't find anything. Ethan not going to be caught wise to the shots from Taco. Taking control of connector. There's 2 players for NRG over here on A. That is Fugly and Cirque. Rotation can come in quickly from Daps, who currently holds the AWP up in heaven. Watching over that B bomb site. There will be 4 players coming the way of A. Let's creep on forward. That Sidri is going to go ahead and hold SK at bay for the time being.
Again, 3 players for NRG though at the point of attack, so they're having very good reads in what SK is doing. Cross Overpass, 2 kills with a CZ though is going to open up the opportunity. Surf's got to be careful, he can't fall here. Goes for the shot. Fur's now close up. The no-scope doesn't land either. He's got to fall away. Fur's about to turn that corner, but Ethan is there to save his teammate in Breezy from the flank. This should be all over, and it is. 6-1 now for NRG. They've survived the force buy out of SK. And this round should be easier as SK can't really invest. They need to just kind of save everything for the next round where they can get the AK-47s. A chance for NRG to build up some money once again.
So going to go in with the aggressive peek down here into middle. Actually decides against it. Here's the players coming his way. And this is just going to be a shooting gallery for Cirque in with a second. Doesn't really want to run the risk of going down, but does stick around a bit to try and help out Fugly, who now finds himself in danger, but Cirque is the man to rescue him. That is fantastic. Cirque, it might have been on an eco, but he stands his ground. He finds all 5, and he maintains his role as the dirtiest man alive. 10-3 right now. NRG up 7-1. Cirque is just feeling it, though.
It really looks like he's going to turn out to be like a very, very special, unique player. He's had a great performance so far. I know for a fact there's been a lot of eyes on him as he came over from Bulgaria in the NA scene. A lot of players that compete against him have been pretty high on what he's able to do. So with performances like this, even though it's online, he's just going to get more eyeballs put on him. And I guess as spectators, we can just cross our fingers, hope and pray that NRG is going to be able to qualify for some lands. Whether they're the regional NA ones or international, doesn't matter. We just want to see him play in the big tournaments, see what he's got. High pressure on Breezy inside the pit, and he can never figure things out. Fallen hears all of this. Fugly jumps, but he's able to find the kill. Curious Fallen not able to complete that one. That's going to box SK in towards the bomb site. They have control of water, and smokes in the choke points is going to hold off the retake for the moment. But this defense against the retake from SK is kind of spread out, kind of shambolic. They're in a lot of different places. It's going to be tough. Taco goes down. The smoke prevents bolts from really protecting him as well. Fugly's going to get wrapped upon from behind, but meanwhile the retake is on. Ethan with the kill. He now spots out Fur as well. coldzera has the lineup, but the Molotov does force him out of position. It looks like he's just going to miss this shot. When does he start firing? He doesn't even realize he's on the bomb. He never shot once. Thought maybe he would tap it, I guess. Maybe he just didn't hear the defuse tap.
Yeah, I think the Molotov being extinguished noise overlapped the bomb defuse noise, because I didn't hear the defuse coming either. But yeah, no, not too good there for SK. They managed to get the bomb down. It was looking good for them, but then ultimately that Molotov ended the round either way, whether it was going to go off or just be the loudest thing on earth. It means that NRG go on to an 8th round, and now Cirque looks to hold down mid. The only issue is Fugly can hear Sophie over here towards Park. He has players all around. coldzera gonna get rid of him, and Cirque now holding down the angle in from Party. Spots out Fallen's down, and Cirque gonna go ahead and tag down coldzera as well.
Oh, don't do it sturdy like this.
Oh, that's not good. It's not pretty. Cirque's gonna go back for more though, and he will be shut down by bolts. Now Ethan 1v3.
That's so awkward. So awkward. Yeah, Ethan though. Gonna be hard to get a read on the situation. 1 minute remaining, and a lot of this is going to be guesswork from him, but if he guesses right, he's got Taco at 12, he's got coldzera at 17, so there's going to be a chance here for him to get a double kill pretty quick. And look at SK all across the map, just hitting the pause button. It's Taco who's making progress in towards the B bomb site, and he'll find out it's clear. SK's willing to risk one of the low HP players. Whether Taco's going to end up being a fake or being the anchor that allows them to plant at this bomb site remains to be seen. And yeah, they're going down the stairs now. Taking their time though, so Ethan still just has kind of question marks going off in his head. Hasn't really discovered it quite yet. That follow-up smoke and Molotov should tell him all he needs to know. Is he going to go for it becomes the question. Does he play it conservative and save the weapon? For the moment, he's going to see what he can find. Footsteps going to give away his position. Making sure he's not just going to get cheesed by an awkward angle. Smoke out towards sandbags. Flash as well to going towards water, but actually blinds himself. Not a great sequence to catch on cam, and the smoke from SK might make this almost impossible. Yeah, they're spraying him down through it. 80 HP left, down to 50. Going to try and work his way. Taco low HP falls. Still an opportunity. Both players stuck behind the smoke. Coldzera coming over now, and Ethan just has no idea, and I think he's just giving it up now. Going for the kills right at the end, and he's going to find both of them. Can't win the round, but he takes all the weapons away, which is maybe as good as it was ever going to get. Some style points there for him at the end, and yeah, plenty of money to be able to drop some guns over, so another buy for NRG.
Yeah, that's done so much damage to SK. They've brought down what they can. They have 4 flashbangs, 1 smoke, and nade, and the AWP on Fallen. That is their buy. They've cobbled it together over here towards B, where 3 players for NRG do lie in wait. They're going to be walking into the more stacked of the 2, and Ethan boosted up to try and shut down Fallen, who will check the angle. Homes it in, but Ethan lands the shot. Fallen's gone down. Now the remaining players for SK start to trickle on through. Breezy spots them. Flash going to facilitate this play, but a counter flash does rain in. Breezy eats a nade, but he's still up and fighting in with a second. How's he getting this done despite being 12 HP? It all falls onto Fur. 1 versus 4. Breezy going to tag him down low. And RIP to the Fur I used to know.
And this is tough now for SK. They haven't been able to string 2 rounds together on the T side, so once again, their economy is completely shattered and reset. 1,500 on 2 players, 1,400 and 14. Like, this is almost as bad as it can get across the board for the SK, all 5 players. Those final 3 kills that Ethan got in the previous round, even in a loss, end up being huge. So SK do invest once again into this, everything they can fight for, but if they lose it, it's going to have to be, I mean, more of the same purchases down the stretch. There's a chance here, though. Awkward timing to pull out your nade, but again, SK losing some focus and not clearing the toxic barrels allows 2 kills to come through. Daps is blind, but Breezy's still alive at this bomb site. Gonna add 1 more to the tally and taps away for Fallen. 3 kills in total, 10-2. And I guess SK might make the decision to save here to try and have 1 more round down the stretch with AK-47s, but there's no real good decision they can make.
Yeah, there's never any respite from just this relentless NRG side. The money's never there. Now this time they've only got Glocks to work with. Cirque this time turning his attention over here. Taps towards connector. Lies in wait down in mid. Throws out the nade. Now starts to fall back. Bounced it off the corner. Coldzera's going to be tagged down to 7 HP off the bat. Fur falls. Dap's going to continue with the aggression. Mops up these ecoing players, padding those stats. But Fallen, look at him go. Leading with the flip knife in hand. He's already all the way down. Oh, how far does Fallen go? He's on a marathon. He's running around the world, rather.
That's awkward.
Now Ethan spotted him. Just keeps the knife out. And now it's just bolts 1v5.
I mean, he knows essentially no matter what happens, he's going to die in the round. So being a little cheeky, having a bit of fun with it. And there goes bolts. 11-2, big half for NRG. Five AKs now picked up for SK, but there's not a whole lot of success they've had that they can lean on to go back to. Cert gonna get aggressive with that AWP. He's up and he misses a shot. Great response from Fallen. More aggression coming for NRG out towards long. That's Breezy. Fallen did add 1 more, actually. He wasn't even shooting at Breezy. He found Fugly behind him, and now Ethan's got to rotate over. He's had a phenomenal game. I think he's up at something like 16-5 right now, maybe 17, but make that a 6th death. As Fur takes his head off. And it's just Daps all alone, 1 versus 4, and surrounded as well.
Just going to miss Taco on the timing, but even then, such a
I think
long
Taco
way to
actually
go.
spotted him as well. Bolts is just running distraction, and his brains get taken out. Taco still hasn't pounced. Still just so close behind him, and it looks like Daps might actually want to go for this to some degree. Maybe they just have enough money for it, but Taco eventually brings him to the point where he can't go for it anymore. He does lose the fight, but prevents Daps from even attempting that retake, and Fur wants the kill no matter what. He even burns alive for it. Fair play.
Losing so many players at the end there, though, really does limit the buy-in for SK. They have a decent bit of utility to work with, but it's not that much, all things considered. No such problem for NRG. Double AWP set up in play. All the utility they could possibly need. Gets across the board and still money left over. Taco's relegated down to a Deagle. And Zerk going to take this peek over in the middle. Players that have already snuck by, so doesn't land anything. Fugly lies in wait over here at long. Missed shot. Now onto Fur. Has given him some ground as he huddles up behind the rock.
Well, Taco might be able to find an easy kill, but they bust up the stack early enough to take him out. He was trying to make quite the play, playing Gladiator at that B-bomb site. Him versus the world. Nobody was entertained. Bolt's now peeking out long. Forces away Fugly. So this NRG defense, while still strong, has been condensed and forced away from some of their initial positions. One smoke and one flash left on the Brazilian side to make something happen with, and they might just have to straight up win a fight somewhere. Who's going to do it? SK now congregating towards bathrooms, towards this A-bomb site. They want to go for it. There's Molotovs on this defense. There's flashbangs as well. And there's Cirque with the AWP. Nothing to block him off. Fallen looking for it, looking for the battle, but no one's peeking, just holding the angle. Fallen, he does win that fight. Cirque not prepared for the peak, not fast enough for it. But so many players still alive, and the rotations are now on. coldzera slowly working his way in, can't win the fight. The smoke goes down a little bit late. Now Fugly, from a new angle, missing the shot somehow, finally connects at the end, and it's a 1 versus 3 for Fur.
Yeah, with only 8 seconds left, it's not meant to be. Ethan finds him, and the scoreline is 12-3. NRG, they finish this first half looking fantastic. The pistol round out does decide whether or not SK's day will be ruined, and NRG take the series 2-0. Pistol round a necessity for SK. They do sit, though, on considerably higher pings. As you say, it's been a bit of an asterisk by this game for that exact reason. Regardless, NRG, they've looked good. I've seen some impressive stuff from Cirque, from Ethan, the usual suspects. They are looking fine, and as we look on this, I imagine, yeah, that's exactly what's going to be hit home as we see Ethan and Cirque top of the board right now. Breezy's having a good performance as well. Kind of everyone is for NRG, and then for SK, they've been pretty quiet here.
Yeah, it's been a very tough half for everyone kind of involved, and I think we've seen some frustration, which is expected under the circumstances of them playing. We focused a lot on the ping, but it's also something like 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning for SK, almost 4 in the morning for them at this time. It's not ideal conditions, and obviously an intensive boot camp added on top of that. They've had a tough run of events, so it makes sense why they want to get together in Germany and boot camp and play against some of the European competition, trying to figure some things out and iron out some of the flaws in their game that have really been exposed. Definitely the map pool for them has shrunk. And ahead of a big tournament in WESG and then the string of tournaments that are going to come after that. You think DreamHack Marseille, ESL 1 Cologne is not far off, all things considered. Some pop flash into Monster. Taco trying to do what he can, but he cannot connect them quick enough. Needed some early headshots. Ethan's already jumping into the water. He's half blind as well, but his boldness is going to be rewarded with 2 quick headshots onto Fallen and coldzera, and that's essentially the pistol round going the way of NRG. Bolts can't fight for it, and Fur, as good as he is, this is too much. Wants to go for the fancy shot. He's going to spin around and take this fight, eventually dropped. Breezy and Ethan combined for all 5 kills, 13-3.
Yeah, now for SK, it's force buying in this round, and you imagine they're in a situation now where they kind of have to force buy until the end of this match. And for NRG, looks like they might just try their hand at a fast B play once again. Fugly going to go peek into mid. Actually, a down connector instead. Holds off for the aggression so that these short players can't get caught off guard by Taco. Taco's going to fall. Flash has landed onto coldzera, so he's gone down. There are still more players inside of B. But just no one left as Fur now stands alone. 1v5. And he's over here.
I feel like there's been a lot of situations like that for SK where there's just one last player with nothing to really do, nothing to really hope for. And yeah, it's again that same situation from the last half. Is there's nothing, there's no right answer. Do you save around and force buy in the last one, or do you just continue to force buy CZs and deagle with armor and fight with lesser weaponry? So yeah, tough times.
Now he would love to find an AK here. Players are going to come hunting, but it's Daps the one that comes his way. And even then, he snuck on by. Ferp does manage to find Daps, but his dismay, it's only the MAC-10 that he takes away. Deagle up for Taco. It is a force buy-in for SK once again. Mac Daddy Fur looking to try do some damage here. And actually, it's only Taco to buy down, so they're going to go for the buy in this next round. They will have it across 4 of the 5 players on the team. And for NRG, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're going to head in towards B. Ooh, with a triple boost. coldzera might be able to get a bit of work done. Does find one before Breezy trades.
Well, there's Taco. He gets dropped by Cirque now with the AK-47. Gonna get 2 headshots and coming through the smoke. Supposed to be able to get 1, not able to respond on more, and it's gonna be Fallen to die right at the end. 15th round for NRG. They're sitting on map point for a 16-3 victory, and SK, they go straight into the double up. We'll see what that can do to stave off elimination.
Yeah, we've seen some comebacks in our time doing this, Jason, but this is one where I'm not feeling it.
Yeah?
Yeah, 12 rounds in a row.
Name a big comeback that you were feeling.
Oh, so many spring to mind.
Yeah?
You know, the iconic one, obviously, the big duel, as we came to call it.
The big duel.
The big duel.
Which one is that?
Liquid Cloud9, just recently. That one was probably my favorite. Okay. It has to be said.
All right.
Yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And actually, maybe there's still time to have another bit of a rumble going on here. As SK, they found one onto Ethan. Clutching at straws a bit here. Fugly about to head the way of coldzera. Cold lies in wait.
Yeah, he does. He's got a big job to do as well. That or Bolts will have to have a good read on the rotation, but he's at low HP, so he's not going to be too much help for anyone. This coldzera taking 1 out of the air and follows up on Breezy coming out of the door. Cirque and Daps with it all to do. 2 on 3, but again, if they can find coldzera, Bolts is super low. That's a free kill. They don't realize coldzera as well. He readjusted his position perfectly. Daps has 35 seconds. He's got Fallen up above. Almost able to take the head off. Information gained from Fallen, but some missed shots are going to allow more opportunities, and there it is. Daps finally connecting. Not able to transfer over to coldzera. But again, 4 kills for the best player in the world. But 4 deaths for SK means it's going to be a rough buy. We're seeing 2 shotguns. The auto shotty on Taco. The Mag-7 on Bolts, and the UMP on Fallen.
Yeah, times are tough for SK. Molotov going to deny any mid-presence from NRG. I'm hoping we can see these shotguns do some damage. The auto shotty is very underrated.
The auto shotty is very underrated, he says.
I'm telling you, keep an eye on Taco over here towards Monster, because he means business. Fallen is there as well, along with a UMP. Bolts on the Mag 7, all the shotguns. About to see some action. Bolts holds it with the Mag 7, players coming his way. Can he have his moment of glory? Does get one. They can't peek into this one at a time. Bolt's going to try and get out of there, so he does go down. Back into a 4-on-4. Fur holding down the fort over in mid. Decides to retreat from the toilets, and NRG looking like they want to go ahead and hit this A bomb site.
Still an opportunity for them if they can force these weapons into an awkward rotation, right? Like the shotgun's obviously very good at close range, but if you put them into a situation where they have to come through a smoke, not knowing what's on the other side, mid-range, all of a sudden they're the most useless weapons in the world. And Taco's actually going to be on the flank. He might be able to find that dropped AK-47, but Cold Zera and Fur have to be able to hold on for at least a little while. Pop Flash comes out, but no one peeks with it. Thankfully for Breezy, the follow-up, though, certainly going to peek with that one. Fur, that's a great clothesline that he puts down onto Ethan, but there's so many players peeking from different angles. There's Taco at range with that shotgun, and yeah, it brings Daps down to 1, but can't do anything else. But the UMP, on the other hand, shut down before it can get started, and that's a big win for NRG, and thus ends what is probably a stressful evening for SK Gaming over in Germany, finishing up that boot camp. They get put down by NRG, and SK, I believe that puts them at 2-6 to start out this season, which is got to be frustrating for them. But either way, a couple of guys who aren't frustrated whatsoever. As he busts out a nervous laughter is our host Trace with the lovely lads of the analyst desk.
I wouldn't say it was a nervous laughter. I just would say it's probably as far from the truth as it possibly could be. Yeah, it's somewhere around there. As we do approach the witching hour, 3:53 on the clock, and SK Gaming has taken the loss. I don't know what you guys thought I was going to say there, but you are extraordinarily wrong. We couldn't have expected it any other way. SK Gaming playing from Germany, having that sort of deficit when it comes to ping. It was never going to be pretty for them.
Nah, you can just see the way they played. They gave up, you know, and you can't really blame them for that. They had everything going against them. It is, as you said, almost 4 o'clock right here in Europe, where they're playing from, where we're standing. Playing with 135 in MS, in ping, in that sense, it's just going to be impossible for them to do anything.
Not an ideal situation.
Not an ideal situation. NRG is going to be happy, though. They're undefeated in this league and have faced some of the big teams already. Uptick, not Uptick, have they? SK, no, whatever.
SK.
Yeah.
So well, SK is a pretty big scalp to take right off the bat, obviously. If this was played in the US, both teams...
it would have been different.
Exactly. And for NRG, again, a team that's trying to fight for playoff spots. Obviously, they made it there last season. They want to do it again. Now with a new and improved roster, you know, taking the scalp of SK is massive for them. It leaves, you know, one significant opponent less for them to try to figure out as the season prolongs.
The one thing that annoys me is that we talked about it yesterday as well. We want to see NRG being tested, and we thought this would be the first time that actually would go up against a team that could test them in this online league, and we didn't get to see any of that. They didn't get pressured. They didn't have a fair game in that sense. It just rolled over SK, and you know, it's just how it is. It sucks, but we just have to wait another week or two before we see NRG being put to the test. And so far, we just have to think about them that it's a great team, and they're sitting top of the league, haven't lost a game yet.
You know, I'm brought back to what we were talking about within the green room when it comes to at the end of the season. You don't want to find yourself in a position where other people are, you know, basing their playoff berth around your wins or losses. But if you think about the head-to-heads tonight in the W's within tonight and last night, some of these teams are going to have a much easier road at the end of the tunnel, I suppose.
I mean, Liquid are already faced SK
two of the hardest
and Cloud9 already 4-0, you know, got a 4-fight against SK, obviously, but beating Cloud9 2-0, that's pretty big for them. So they're in a good state. They're probably going to beat the rest of the teams, or at least, you know,
play 1-1. That's what we assume, at least, considering what they've delivered.
So in that sense, they already like secured the first place, or at least secured like a top 3 position, which is going to give them a good seeding as well going into the World Finals. So there's a lot on stake for these teams early in the season as well. And again, Liquid and NRG is just a pretty good example of 2 teams who already now are putting themselves in a very good position in order to get to those World Finals.
Yeah, and obviously for what we have coming up, and the other teams obviously not vying for playoff positions, it's even more true what you talk about, the fact that when you get to the end of the season, it's not, you don't want to sit there, you know, with 1 game left to play and then rely on 3 different teams to potentially have to lose or tie in a certain matchup or split points in overtime, that kind of a thing, for you to actually stay alive. So yeah, no, beginning of the season might not feel as important, but for some of the teams, you know, every game matters, even though it's a bit of a cliche, but it is actually very true.
True words have never been spoken by the man that is known as Halvor Gudlestol.
I mean,
is that good?
That's an ugly name when you think about it, right?
I gave it all I had. And with that, we're going to give it all we have as we take a look at the top 5 plays here of this week of ESL Pro League.
Roka's only able to get one, but Davy's still alive here. They have to be careful. He's trying to buy time for rotations to come in, and Davy in with a second now. 6 there. Cadian's gone down, and Davy gets it done. He'll finish this off. 4 monstrous frags in at the end.
5 players towards the connector here. Rain probably gets 3. Maybe just gets 5. Okay, that's sick.
Cello's going to try and fool him. He might have... Ooh! Hello. He did do it. You just got to be wondering what the hell happened, and another kill. There goes Ye, and all of a sudden this is doable. A duel onto FNS, and Def gonna walk through, and he runs right past the op. Awkward situation though. There's the jump and there's the shot. This has got to be won by Android. He's got to push forward. He's getting wrapped from both sides. He's being distracted, and he's out in the open, and Cello is a hero.
We're back into OT. Thanks for sticking with us. It's obviously 1st to 19 in this first half, and Angel's already kicked things off with a kill. JW's going to be dead. 16k MR3 may as well give it a shot. Flusher going to look for something, does find Woxix Orb, but Angel picking up the Orb in return. Let's find 1, make that 2. Okay, Angel, he's making this at least close. No scope doesn't connect, but optimistic regardless. Golden, oh my god, he hits it the 3rd time. Angel's on the run for the ace here, and Crims has 10 HP left. If he hurries up and jumps on the bomb, baits out this peak, he can certainly win this round, but he's making so much noise! Angel, no way, he's just aced that round for the win. He has, he's done it! My goodness.
And Device will be challenging as well. He gets the opening pick. Is it enough to Dupree? Ready on the lower ramp, looking for a stun. He gets it, could get even more. This is brilliant from Dupree as he gets the ace sprayed out with the AK-47. Amazing work there.